They just stapled the headliner in place. Hello friends, this is a 2004 Buick LaSabre. Yes, this car needs a headliner. This is obviously a problem with these cars, so I am going to get started trying to pull down as much as I can to get that headliner out. So in order to handle the problem of the falling headliner, they just stapled the headliner in place. It actually doesn't look too bad the way that it's done, but you know, because it looks like a big cushion. But it's kind of crazy. So anyway, we're going to do what we can to start pulling the handles and stuff down, see if we can't start getting this out. I have a magnetic tray so that all of the screws and stuff will go in there. I like that little thing. I actually laughed at my dad when he first got it. I'm like, really? So with my first headliner video, I had a lot of feedback on that and a lot of questions. So I figured since I had the opportunity to do another headliner, I thought I would kind of go over some of the steps that I have to go through in order to make this happen. So to begin with, as you see, I am pulling everything down. It would be the handles, sun visors, the light panel, and the mirrors in some cases have connections as well. So those will have to be disconnected also. In the back dash, when you pull back the panel covers, you're gonna have probably some wires that go to your defrost and other things in your vehicle. And you will have to disconnect that also, because a lot of times those wires are connected and glued down to your headliner. Now this is going to sound pretty small, and to some people it's going to sound ridiculous that I even said it. But there may be some people out there who wonder. A majority of these are not going to be Phillips head. They're going to be the Torque. So make sure you have one or two, just to make sure that you have, you know, enough. If you have somebody helping you, you might have different sizes. Just make sure you have them on hand. Sun visors can be kind of tricky. As you will see, that mirror is lighted, so there is a connection. It is glued down and it's set kind of back towards the center, and you're dealing with the corner, so you're going to have to get in there. Another thing I want to mention, in an older car, you see that I have that headliner bent down a little bit. In the older cars, those will typically snap back into place. In the newer cars, that's not always the case. When you get a crease in the newer cars, a lot of times that crease is there forever. When you have removed all of the obstructions, everything that holds the headliner in place, then it's best to figure out the most effective way to pull it out. A lot of times you'll want to do that through the widest doors. Sometimes it could be the back door, sometimes it could be the front door. And there are sometimes you have to remove the windshield. So just kind of assess your situation and go from there. When you get your headliner out, you want to just kind of lay it out flat. A simple table will take care of that. Now you're going to move into the prep stage. Obviously with an old headliner, it's going to have this old spray-on foam, and that must be removed. You have to get that headliner as clean as possible so that the new adhesive and fabric will adhere and bond very well. Hopefully, when you're doing a job like this, you will have an air compressor available. Just compressed air of any kind. Just use it on the headliner so that you can blow off the small particles that your vacuum didn't get or that you missed. It's just best. Another tip I want to put out there, before you do your headliner, in our situation dealing with the dealership, we don't necessarily have to worry too much about it, but I would suggest that you lay your headliner fabric out a couple of days before. In the sun is a good place to do that, just to kind of let it level out, get some of the creases out. You can also, on a low temp, iron it. So just make sure that you do something like that. In a dealership setting, it's not always a big deal. Spray headliner adhesive is a very good tool to have. You don't have to get complicated with a brush and glue out of a can. You can use just the spray and it does just fine. You will want to put the spray onto the headliner and onto your fabric, and then you let it sit for a few minutes, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and allow it to tack up. And then you will carefully work your way, because you do start in the center, work your way down, making sure that it adheres to every lump and bump and little divot, and you know what I mean. So once your headliner fabric is on, let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Allow everything to kind of level itself out. Allow that glue to just give it a little bit of time to adhere to the fabric and the liner itself. And then you can flip it over. That's when you'll start working on the lip and just trying to bend all of that over so it has a nice clean look. And you will also want to cut out all of the holes at this time too. I will tell you that this job can be complicated. It takes more time to put the headliner back in and take it out than anything, and then replacing everything does take a little bit of time, and it is tougher at the end because you have new fabric, but just stick with it. Anyway, I had to leave early this evening, and so my dad stayed and he finished it off. I hope that this helps you, maybe gives you a few tips. Remember, every vehicle is different, so just assess your situation. But I will tell you, the first time I did this, I was pretty nervous. And this time, I was like, I got this. So here's the pictures before it was all finished, but I had to leave. And you will see, it actually looks pretty darn good. So thanks for hanging out, guys. And until the next video, we'll see you later.